Hello, Wild Earth, and welcome back to another live episode of Penguin Beach. My name is Byron, and I'm delighted to be your naturalist today, and I'm joined behind the lens by Flippy. We also have a very awesome surprise. We will be having a guest on today's show, and I'll reveal that guest just a little bit later. But rumor has it, he really loves kelp and really loves jellyfish. Let's have a look and see what the penguins are up to today. We are coming to you live and would love to hear from you, so please send your questions and comments in. You can send them to Twitter by using the hashtag @WildEarth. You can also head over to the WildEarth website and post your comments and questions under the live feed. If you are under the age of 18, please pop us an email to kidsquestions@wildearth.tv. We really want to hear from you and enjoy having you down here on the beach with us. If we cannot answer your question, we'll try and get back to you the following day. I really am excited to see what is going to happen today. We've decided to come down to the Jacuzzi again. Of course, yesterday there was a bit of rain and it was quite cold, and we didn't manage to see the chicks down here at the Shire. The weather is completely different today. We have some sun around and some blue skies. The wind is still quite chilly, blowing out of the northwest, and it doesn't look like we are going to get wet today. So completely different. Nice to see some sunshine around as well. Normally after rain has fallen in the Western Cape, you can expect a southwest wind to blow, and that generally makes it very cold. But that's not the case today. Let's head over to the official weatherman and see what the weatherman has to say. Look at that beautiful blue skies with some cloud, and wow, what an awesome privilege it is to look at the mountains across the bay from Betty's Bay. It really is such a beautiful coastal village, and of course we get to observe the African penguin at Stony Point. This individual looks like it's in a bit of a hurry to head down to the sea. This penguin reminds me of myself when I haven't surfed for about 2 or 3 weeks. Really keen to get myself wet. Hello Erin, yes, and welcome back to the show. It's great to hear from you, and there is going to be a lot of action down here today. I can just sense it. I'm really excited to be down here as well. I'm really hoping for a Stanley appearance. That's going to be really cool if Stanley decides to pop up. We are at Stanley's favorite spot, the Jacuzzi. And Stanley really likes to appear around 20 minutes past 2. Stanley hasn't appeared over the last couple of times that I've been down here, but you never know. Today might just be the day. I love how they navigate the rocks with such caution. This individual was definitely in a rush to go have a bath.
My favorite thing about WildEarth are the animals and the interaction and the ability to wait and watch and not rush off You get to watch their behavior and learn about the individuals. I would like to see the hyenas at the hyena den, and I have. There they are. Look at that. If I could be any animal, I would be a cheetah. I would love to run fast.
Our Western Cape coastline is graced with the Cape fur seal. This playful species is curious and entertaining. At Hout Bay Seal Rescue Centre, seals in need are rescued, fed and nursed back to health by our well-trained team of dedicated staff and volunteers. This wonderful legacy of the centre is continued as these protected creatures are rehabilitated and released back into the wild.
Come back out onto the rocks. Some wash-throughs taking place at the Jacuzzi. I love it when they just shake their heads like that when they have exited the water. Get rid of any salt from those supraorbital glands that they have, and also shake any of that solution off the tips of their bill. Hello, Graham. So I believe that Devon, a naturalist who was featuring regularly on the Penguin Beach show last year, named it. And it's because it, on high tide, forms a very nice, calm pool at times, and then the waves wash through, which creates this bubbling action similar to the jets of a jacuzzi. And that's how it got named. I think it is a fantastic name, and definitely this area has definitely become one of my favorite places to observe penguins. There is a lovely surprise that we walked into today. Yesterday we came with the hopes of finding the chicks at the Shire, and no one was home. It was completely vacant. Today, on the other hand, we have an adult, and we have Flippy and Frodo hanging out in the Shire, and they are showing really, really nicely today. Look at that beautiful little fluffy young penguin. Really is very, very cute, and I'm so excited that personally myself, I know the viewers have viewed them, but this is definitely the best views I've had of the chicks, and they have got so large, and it really does explain why the parents were able to leave them yesterday. Both adults were actually out hunting yesterday, and the chicks were hiding, I believe, underneath the boardwalk. One adult has decided to stay behind on land and is currently helping its offspring clean its very, very fluffy down feathers. Of course, the chicks do spend, or at least have been spending, a long time in the nest, and they can get very, very dirty and soiled with their own guano. Sarah, it is fantastic to see the chicks. Flippy actually let me know that he could see the chicks before I arrived down here. He said the chicks are there, and it was a no-brainer, really. We didn't really have to speak to each other. We just knew that we were coming to the Jacuzzi. But this is so lovely to watch how the adult is cleaning this individual. I would like to have a look at the other chick in the burrow just to note its size. At this stage, Frodo should be quite a lot larger, and Flippy should be the smaller individual.
If you are a WildEarth explorer, we have exciting news for you.
The winner of this month's prize giveaway will win a hamper full of Explorer merchandise.
Like this fantastic t-shirt that comes in plenty of great colors, a very useful tote bag, or even a cap.
For those in the southern hemisphere that's heading into winter, a sweatshirt to keep you warm.
Head over to the WildEarth Explorers page. Sign up to be a WildEarth Explorer and you could win all of these goodies.
WildEarth, it's in your nature. Stand in the direct sunlight all the time, and the burrow does provide them with a lot of shade. And the parent still sits right at the entrance of the burrow, just for in case there is any chance of a predator coming in. The main predator that they would be exposed to now is likely to be the small grey mongoose. Of course, there are Cape leopard and caracal around this area, but quite rare to see them during the daylight hours at least. Some home renovations taking place, and this has been quite regular over recent times as the chicks grow very, very rapidly. The adult has to continuously excavate the sand to make room for the chicks. Samantha, that is a fantastic question, and penguins actually have very, very good hearing, and that is noted because the parents can identify the chicks from their peeping vocalizations in a penguin colony filled with thousands of other penguins, and the chicks can also hear the adults. So they have very, very acute hearing, and it is one of the ways that they are able to identify one another. So that is very, very cool. So if the chicks do wander off like they did yesterday, the adults will be able to locate them. Even if they can't see them, they can locate them by sound. So it is very, very important for the African penguins to have good hearing. You can hear the one chick is really, really keen to get some food, and the adult doesn't seem to be too bothered. Maybe it doesn't have anything to provide at this stage. The other adult is out hunting, and it'll be interesting to know when that individual returns. This individual could have just returned first after being out offshore, and its partner is maybe having a tougher time to locate fish. Of course, it can be quite difficult. The ocean is very, very vast, and success rates will differ depending on the location. It's good to see that an adult has returned. At this stage, the main cause of mortality to penguin chicks is actually starvation, and that could be attributed to the adults either not returning at all or not being able to find sufficient, that was the word I was looking for, to find sufficient food. So I would really, really love to introduce our guest. I am joined here today by Marcello. So this is Marcello Evertson, and Marcello did join us in February at at Penguin Beach, and he's back today. And Marcello is a jellyfish expert. I believe he...
No, I'm not.
You're not a jellyfish expert.
No,
Why not?
I'm not.
Marcello is...
Don't sell me like that to the people.
Marcello
I
is...
just have some experience with jellies. That's about it. But no expert. I'll not classify myself as an expert.
Okay, so Marcello has been humble. Marcello actually used to cultivate jellyfish at the Two Oceans Aquarium. Assisted. All right, so Marcello is going to host the show for the middle period, and Marcello, enjoy it, and viewers, enjoy having Marcello on the show, and please be sure to fire him a lot of questions.
And I look forward to trying answering them as well. So yeah, wish me luck. Thank you.
All right, let's have a look and see what the penguins are up to.
Right, Byron, thank you for that generous introduction. Viewers, I'm looking forward to your questions and comments as well, as I did the last time. So you guys gave me quite the run for my knowledge, testing it a bit, and I've also been keeping up with the show. And I must say the questions have improved quite a bit. It was like a lot I had to research myself as well. And yeah, let's just try and have another great time today and see what the penguins have to offer us.
All WildEarth explorers have a chance to join our naturalists in a monthly fireside chat. This is a great way to learn more about our guides, animal characters, and wildlife locations. We would love to hear from you as to the topics that interest you the most. Email us your ideas or tweet using the hashtag WildEarth, and we will be sure to take them into account when planning our evenings around the fire in the future. WildEarth Explorers, it's in your nature. June marks World Environment Day, and in aid of creating awareness for the protection of our special planet, we have some new and unique merchandise in our shop. More recently, WildEarth experienced the tragic passing of Hasana, our little chief. To celebrate this leopard's life, we have created some unique Hasana clothes and bags so that his memory can live on forever. Head over to the WildEarth shop today to buy these and other great WildEarth products.
And they're quite persistent as well in just trying to get out there or stay in the water. Oh, and there we go, just swimming underneath the waves. Could you repeat that question, please? I missed that. Ben had an interesting question. I'm not particularly sure what that was. Oh, Ben, what do we hope to find today? Well, we hope to find the chicks when we got here this afternoon, so that's a plus. They're still here in the Shire, and other than that, maybe some penguin action. Maybe some, cormorants perhaps, or maybe some cool dives from turns. So anything really, just enough to provide the viewers with something cool to watch as well, which, never disappoints. Penguin Beach always provides us with enough entertainment. This individual just seems to be basking in the sun, doing what penguins do best, basking and swimming, I guess. That is a interesting question, Matthew. And yes, I must say that I've witnessed quite a few penguins being injured by the rocks or being like smashed around by the waves as well. But for that, the waves, they need to be really high. Like when I witnessed this, it was on Bird Island, and there would be like 6-meter waves, like in storms. They would just like approach the island and just smash the penguins against the rocks. And in the morning, we would then have to just patrol the island and just check for any injured birds because of that. And we'd find about, I'd say 4, I guess, like 4 on average. And that normally just would be like leg injuries. So you'll see some penguins limping. But yeah, so not too fatal to them, but I'm sure some of them, yeah, are able to escape that quite a bit and not get too damaged by the rocks or the waves. This Kalk Gulch just seems to be overlooking the Jacuzzi as well, joined by some cormorants on that side. I always just suspect those gulls always like up to something, like possibly just scheming or just trying to find something to eat or like steal from other birds, I guess. I read somewhere that they said frigate birds are the pirates of the ocean, but I would like strongly disagree with that person, because clearly they haven't been, they haven't eaten fish and chips in Cork Bay or Out Bay or in Cape Town, because those gulls can be quite vicious when it comes to poaching.
This morning we were driving and suddenly we heard a lot of commotion. I think the wild dogs might have caught an impala then, or the leopard might have caught the impala, and as it was dragging it, the wild dog saw it, started chasing the leopard up into the tree, and then the hyenas came to steal it. But what an incredible sighting.
Ribbon is the matriarch and has recently been seen with injuries to her body. Corky was the previous matriarch and is believed to be taken back her status. Intima was born to Ribbon in February 2017 and also enjoys a high ranking. Heart is the next rank down, and in June is believed to be the lowest rank, easily recognizable by a floppy left ear.
Most of the penguins today just seems to be preening themselves as they're coming in from the water. William, thanks for that question. Glad to have you on the show today, as well as all the other viewers that ask such interesting questions. So, what is my favorite ocean bird? What is my favorite ocean bird? That is a tricky one. I guess I'll have to say penguins. Yeah, I'd say penguins for now, for the show. Let's keep it safe. But personally, I don't particularly have any favorite ocean bird. But my favorite bird in general, I know the last time I mentioned it was the secretary bird, because someone asked me something similar as well. But I'd have to take that back and say it's the martial eagle, because I actually forgot that I've seen one. So that has to be my favorite bird of all birds that I've seen so far. So yeah, hopefully that's sufficient. Just watching these penguins maneuver around the rocky shores as well. It's quite interesting. I saw on yesterday's show that there was one that actually managed to climb up onto a meter-high rock and had an insane wipeout as well. So we received a question on how do penguins prevent dehydration from salt in the water. So penguins have these glands, supraorbital glands, that allows them to remove salt or excess salt from their body as they drink the water. So they're still able to drink the salt water, but just those glands assist in that and just removes all the salt. This individual just seems to be doing what the rest of them are doing as well. Just preening, making sure its feathers are nice and fresh, so it could possibly head out again or could just be coming back. There's another one just coming back from sea now. Hopping over the rocks. They're not the most efficient on land, but once you see them in the water, they are like torpedoes, just zooming through the waves as well. As they would tuck their feet behind them and push the neck a little down to be more streamlined as well, and just chase after fish if they are hunting or if they're just swimming for some fun.
Three brothers named the Avoca males arrived in Juma in 2018. This area had recently been vacated by the Birmingham boys. In 2019, they were seen mating with females from both prides and went on to sire cubs with them. The most recognizable lion in this coalition is Darkmane. Aside from the dark mane that gave him his name, he can be recognized by a distinctive limp.
In that tree are two carcasses. There's a duiker carcass and a waterbuck. Oh, it's not as graceful as... He's a bit hesitant because, well, climbing a tree is not the easiest, but he will get up there eventually. So let's see, there he goes. And look at the power in that. That is a massive 500-pound cat that has just climbed a marula tree and is up in there. How cool is this? I don't know how he's going to do it, but let's see.
These chicks have calmed down quite a bit in the Shire. They're not moaning anymore as they were earlier. Maybe they realized that the parent does not have any food or anything to offer them, as Byron mentioned earlier. So could be that they're just waiting for the other parent to come back with some food. And then they'll make even more noise. That is like, because then the one will basically moan while the other one's getting fed, and they'll just go back and forth until their stomachs are full. And that's something I had to live through again when I was on Bird Island, trying to sleep through penguin chicks moaning and just wanting food is not the best, but like everything else, it does become white noise and you eventually find nice peaceful sleep. Speaking of sleeping, it looks like these penguins are not sleeping, but possibly just resting a bit, resting their eyes, enjoying the sun. Northwesterly is still pumping, so Hannah, welcome to the show and thank you for that question. Hannah wants to know how far deep do penguins go in the water when they are hunting, if that is correct. So, penguins, if my memory serves me correctly, the dive duration is between 2 to 5 minutes when feeding. That's the time when they feed, I think. Just have to go through my penguin memory here. And really putting me on the spot here with this question. Not entirely sure. I think I'll have to get back to you on that one, Anna. Not entirely sure of that. I can say that an emperor penguin at least travels like 90 kilometers on a feeding expedition. That's some random fact that I know that relates to penguins on feeding. For African penguins, not particularly sure. So I'll pass that on to Byron and he could possibly get back to you tomorrow. So you will have to stay tuned and hopefully we can answer that question tomorrow. Looks like this individual seems to be approaching the little waddle on this side. Could we see some interaction between them? It's always interesting to see that penguins don't really like other penguins getting into their personal space. Dark Man Lover, I think that was a question from you. When do chicks leave the burrow for good? So the first hatch chick gets fed and is stronger before its sibling hatches. So they're fed, I think, for some 80 days, and yeah, depending on food availability, they would then leave the burrows, but I'm not entirely sure on that question either. My penguin knowledge is not giving me the, the best rep today in providing answers for these questions, but like I said, we'll have to get back to that one tomorrow again. So you'll have to stay tuned. This individual seems to be just leaving the water's edge, maneuvering up the rocks.
You can see the hyenas are far more tolerant of vultures than a lion or leopard would be. Occasionally a hyena will bite sort of a couple of tail feathers out of the back of a vulture, but I've never actually seen them, even once they've caught one, actually kill it. Oh, there we go, nearly got him.
Hyena and hippo walking side by side, terror etched on the expression of little hippo. Look at this last mad dash, hyena running along beside it. Baby hippo, jaws gaping, it's gonna make it. It's gonna make it. It did it. The baby hippo against all odds.
We had some more vocalizations coming from the burrow at the shy over here. Chicks seem to be getting quite restless again. Hi, Jane. Welcome to the show. That's an interesting question, one I'd never suspect to be asked on the show. But yeah, what jellyfish are found on our coast? Cool. So on the west coast, you would find like our compass jellies, and I'm actually baffled by this question. Thanks for that. You'd also find like the pink meanie, which is quite a rare jelly to find in our coast, but you find some of them as well. And then moving up to the east coast as well, you can find some rhizostoma species, which are almost like barrel-shaped jellies. They're different to the compass ones, as I mentioned before. Because if you ever see like jellies stranded on beaches, you'll notice like some of them would be like pinkish, and some of them would just be like, they look like a ball without any tentacles. So yeah, that's that's about it. So you'll get pink meanies, compass. Apologies for that, just had some disturbance in the background. Yeah, the pink meanies, compass, and like other rhizostoma species, as well as nightlight jellies, which occasionally wash up due to currents. So currents and winds would generally transport jellies along our coast. But yeah, thanks for that question, really appreciated that. It gives my confidence at least somewhat of a boost. But let's head back to our penguins and see what they are getting up to. Seems like we're back here with the chicks in the Shire again. As we've mentioned, they are quite restless. You can see they seem to be allopreening, or maybe the chicks just want some food and the adult is not having any of that. Nah, it definitely looks like some quality time. And I'm not sure, is that Flippy or Frodo? Not entirely sure. I haven't seen both of them as mentioned before, because the one was still like deep inside the burrow. I think this is the one that I've just had the privilege to see. Just giving it a nice good clean. Making sure those chicks are healthy and ready to be sent off into the wild. Where they would then spend around 12 to 18 months at sea. And unfortunately, some of them won't be able to find sufficient food, and they would then not survive. Jamie, thanks for that question and welcome to the show. So, yeah, I guess there would be some kind of dominance within the larger chick when it comes to survival, but then again, anything could happen. I mean, it's only been like, yeah, if they are hatched like 1 or 2 days apart, yeah, who's to say, yeah, just a battle that they'd have to face. But it is highly likely, well, not highly likely, it could be likely that the larger chick could possibly be more healthier, could be getting more food from the mother, could have, I don't know, better genes, I'd say, or not better genes, but yeah, genes that are more favorable in the environment that it has to grow up in, at least. So if, yeah. if it does end up like that. But I think the odds are fairly similar that they have to face.
This is amazing, and now she's headed towards the elephants. Yeah, here comes the male behind us. This is the male lion coming over here. The elephants are huddled up to protect the young ones in the middle, and he's going after that girl. And they are the buffalo going after the lion and the lioness. They're still going after them. Look at that guy charging. Hey!
Hukamore. Oh, he is an impressive looking male leopard. Look at that neck on him. He just looks ready for a fight.
This is only the third time that we are seeing him that is known as the Hukamuri male, and he certainly has a lot of character and atmosphere.
This is gorgeous. Hukamuri having a drink at one of the little seasonal pans.
Isn't he absolutely gorgeous? Compact, powerful, focused. I love it.
Compass jellies, but a number of those species I'm not too familiar with. So it is so cool to actually get to know the jellyfish species that occur along the coastline. I must say, and my wife knows this of me, I'm not too fond of jellyfish. And that's because maybe I'm blaming the jellyfish, but the Portuguese man of war, the blue bottle, has always been a nemesis of mine. And whenever I go surfing in summer during the southeast winds, I get stung. And it makes me very, very sad. You have to take sand and rub it over the sting to try and get rid of the nematocysts, and also wash yourself with some salt water as well. But the best way to go about it is to put the area that has been stung into the hottest water possible, and that actually breaks down the venom, I believe, and it's worked very, very well for me. I'm so glad that we are getting to observe the chicks. Marcella, you were actually spot on with regards to when penguin chicks leave the nest for good. There's no real actual time, but the time frame is about 60 to 130 days, and Marcella mentioned 80 days, which is a very, very fair estimate if you had to average it out. So it would be very, very early for a penguin chick to leave around 60 days, but some hang out a little bit longer, especially the second chick that is hatched. So like Flippy, for example, Flippy might hang around for a little bit longer, even maybe up to 130 days. And I can guarantee that they will be begging for food from their parents throughout that entire time. This is very cool, a one-legged excavation, and that's why it's so important for African penguins to have sharp claws, and that enables them to burrow. Of course, in the past they would have been burrowing mainly into soft guano, but it allows them to burrow in the soil like this. And I love it how they burrow with their face towards the excavation, and then have their little penguin bums sticking out the burrow and pushing all the soil back. It really is quite classic to see around the breeding season. You look around the colony and you just see sand getting thrown up everywhere from behind little penguin bums. That really is cool. I must say, I'm quite envious about Marcello having lived on Bird Island. I believe it's in Algoa Bay in the Eastern Cape. That must have been very, very cool to literally live with penguins. What a privilege. Are we going to leave the Shire now? Adolf is actually continuing to excavate and get deeper and deeper towards those rocks. What has Flippy got his eye on? I know he's seen something. I believe it is... I'm not even going to look at what you're filming, Flippy. I think you're going to a cormorant. Am I right? Give me a shake of the head. I've known Flippy for very, very long. Over 8 years, I think. Roughly there, somewhere there.
All WildEarth explorers have a chance to join our naturalists in a monthly fireside chat. This is a great way to learn more about our guides, animal characters, and wildlife locations. We would love to hear from you as to the topics that interest you the most. Email us your ideas or tweet using the hashtag WildEarth, and we will be sure to take them into account when planning our evenings around the fire in the future. WildEarth Explorers, it's in your nature. June marks World Environment Day, and in aid of creating awareness for the protection of our special planet, we have some new and unique merchandise in our shop. More recently, WildEarth experienced the tragic passing of Hasana, our little chief. To celebrate this leopard's life, we have created some unique Hasana clothes and bags so that his memory can live on forever. Head over to the WildEarth shop today to buy these and other great WildEarth products.
Spread its wings and really move them quickly to try and dry the plumage off after spending some time foraging in the water. So cormorant's feathers do get quite wet when they forage, and that's why they'll forage in bouts. They normally forage for short periods of time and then head out onto the rocks and do exactly this. So this individual is not facing directly into the sun, but the sun will definitely be touching its belly and it's spreading its wings nicely. I really, really love it when they flap their wings so fast like that to get rid of any excess water. And of course, the wind that is blowing towards this individual is definitely going to help dry the plumage off as well. They actually remind me of vultures when they stand like that with their wings spread. I was explaining to the viewers why it's my favorite cormorant, and it's because of its eye actually. Its eye is divided into two hemispheres, and the top part of the eye is a orangey brown color, and the bottom half is a green color. So I must say I find that very, very attractive in this species. Of course, the white rump definitely adds to its overall appearance as well during the breeding season. It's very important for them to maintain their feathers during foraging bouts. Feathers are, of course, the source of insulation. Very, very good insulators, and it's very important to keep them well maintained. Hello, Cindy. Wow, I'm so glad that you agree with me. It is such a stunning bird indeed. It's got this very heavy set neck as well, very, very thick. You know, if you have to compare them to the other cormorants that are found around here, and you do get three other species at Stony Point. You might get a reed cormorant hanging out maybe by the left wing at times. You might be able to see 5 cormorant species down here, but it's got a very, very heavy set neck, which definitely helps you to differentiate it from the other cormorant species. And I mean, that little crest as well on its head is just too beautiful in Afrikaans, so we'll call that a keifie. And humans can have keifies as well. It's when you've got like a little cow's lick in the front of your head, it's called a kafie. So we can say that the cormorants, especially the bank and the crown cormorant, have little kafies.
My favorite thing about WildEarth are the animals and the interaction and the ability to wait and watch and not rush off. You get to watch their behavior and learn about the individuals. I would like to see the hyenas at the hyena den, and I have. Look at that. If I could be any animal, I would be a cheetah. I would love to run fast.
Our Western Cape coastline is graced with the Cape fur seal. This playful species is curious and entertaining. At Hout Bay Seal Rescue Centre, seals in need are rescued, fed and nursed back to health by our well-trained team of dedicated staff and volunteers. This wonderful legacy of the centre is continued as these protected creatures are rehabilitated and released back into the wild.
Pull them out of rocky crevices where the Cape cormorants hunt pelagic fish. So they do have different hunting techniques, the different cormorant species. The juveniles are lighter in color than the adults. The adults have uniform black plumage, and the little lovely yellow and orange patch on the throat is very pronounced in the adults as well. The Cape cormorants also head out in large flocks when they go out hunting offshore, and that is a result of the food that they hunt, and they hunt pelagic baitfish. And I mean, you just see the ocean in the background from Penguin Beach here. This ocean is so large, it can be extremely difficult to find fish, and to have extra eyes is always very, very handy. And the penguins also hunt together for that exact reason. We've just spotted an individual hanging out. Oh, it was hanging out with vegetation in its mouth. It dropped it in its bill. I should say bill or beak. It's dropped it. We got so excited now, and Flippy tried to pan there so quickly that it had picked up a little bit of vegetation, and that sort of behavior is observed quite often in birds, just pre-breeding season or during the breeding season. It's a very good indication to a potential mate or existing mate that it's time to get going, it's time to join the party. I wonder if it will pick it up. Again, it was a very wiry piece of vegetation, looked like a terrestrial plant as opposed to a piece of seaweed or something. Very, very late Malta has also been spending a lot of time at the Jacuzzi. There's actually two late Maltas here. This one is a little bit further along in the process, or the old feathers are lifting off the back, and it's not as plump as you would expect a early molting penguin to be. There's a very, very fat molting penguin about 3 to 4 meters away from it.
If you are a WildEarth explorer, we have exciting news for you.
The winner of this month's prize giveaway will win a hamper full of Explorer merchandise.
Like this fantastic t-shirt that comes in plenty of great colors, a very useful tote bag, or even a cap.
For those in the southern hemisphere that's heading into winter, a sweatshirt to keep you warm.
head over to the WildEarth Explorers page. Sign up to be a WildEarth Explorer and you could win all of these goodies.
WildEarth, it's in your nature. Indeed. The ocean is looking stunning today with the offshore breeze. I'm just so excited that we've been able to observe the Shire family. It's been really, really nice. And I wasn't too worried yesterday, but a little bit concerned when they weren't present. Arctic Circle, I can tell you, we can hear chicks calling quite regularly. It might be a little bit difficult for you to hear at this time just with the wind, but a lot of chicks have actually hatched. And let's see if we can maybe find another one. It really is in the peak of the breeding season, and there are a number of chicks that are around the 30-day mark at the moment. Flippy's going to do his best. He's doing a complete about turn, a complete 180. And I can tell you, if you could see Flippy now, he's pulling some Spider-Man techniques over here because he's right up against the boardwalk. I like challenging the camera operators. Look at that beautiful little chick, all hunched over at the moment. Just notice the adult as well. Look at the feather. You can actually see a feather in the adult's bill every now and again when the wind blows, and I'm sure that's one of the chicks' down feathers, because the adults do clean the chicks when they are this old. Of course, they sit in their feces for long periods of time and don't do a lot of cleaning themselves, so the adults like to take that into their own hands. Look how cute it is. It's so cute. It's so fluffy. I just want to touch it. It looks like it's so soft and like nearly spongy. Cute little guy. There you go. He's got a beautiful artificial nest box provided by Sandcob and Cape Nature, and they have proven to be really successful and have improved breeding success for the African penguin in a number of locations. You can actually own a penguin house, can you believe it, on Dyer Island, about an hour and a half away from where we are currently. That is very cool. Wow, it's been such an awesome Penguin Beach show. It's been really great to observe the Shire and also bump into another penguin chick that is about 30 days. I was, of course, joined by Marcello, and I'd love to thank Marcello for joining us. It's been a pleasure.
Buddy. Thank you, WildEarth viewers, as well. I really enjoyed my time here today. A bit thrown off by some of the questions, but if there's another time, I'll be sure to, be on top of that.
That's how it goes. So, thank you very much, Marcello. Everyone, stay tuned for the Sunset Safari. The Juma team are going to be looking for some spotted cats.
This program features live coverage of an African safari and may include animal kills and carcasses. Viewer discretion is advised.